What to do and how to talk with police when you're stopped. Good evening to you at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. Amanda Starantino has the night off. A Marian University professor is trying to educate people about their rights when interacting with police. The professor says after a year like 2020, highlighting racial divides and distrust with police departments, a guide on how to properly interact with police is crucial. WRTV's Stephanie Wade shows you how he hopes a book can hopefully start a conversation.
The author of Empower started to write this book several years ago after a high-profile shooting involving a police officer. He says after the George Floyd death last year, even more agencies began reaching out to him for professional development help surrounding racial justice.
My ultimate goal is to save lives. I want to save them literally and figuratively.
Bawana Clement's book, Empower, explains people's rights when interacting with police.
We feel like we have the right to do things, but we really don't know the rule, and so that gets us into this gray area.
Highlighting the fact that
we typically get our advice about how to interact with law enforcement from our mom, our dad, our older brother or cousin, an uncle, right? But none of us have sat through an actual course to tell us the do's, the don'ts, what we actually have the right to do and what we don't have the right to do.
Without proper knowledge, he says things can quickly escalate and go wrong.
I think fear and anxiety, right, those historical contexts lend to mistakes, right? Lend to a bad attitude, lend to distrust.
His guide covers steps to take when pulled over, respectful phrases to use with an officer, questions you don't need to answer, and what to do if you're arrested.
This is my attempt to put information down in writing and to share it with the community to really empower us to do better when it comes to police civilian interaction.
Clements is reaching out to foundations, school districts, community agencies, including IMPD, to partner with.
I was so excited because it's a great tool to have a conversation.
Clements met with Shauna Majors, the Indianapolis Director of Community Violence Reduction, who invited him to talk to city service providers about his book, how it can be utilized in their programming, and host summer sessions within the community.
I can see this being used in workshops, in youth organizations, in adult, community conversations and neighborhood associations. Like, it can be utilized in schools, everywhere.
Clements says misinformation has cost our community far too much. He hopes this will bridge people together.
You don't have to be afraid. You don't need to worry. You need to do what the law says you're able to do. And if that goes wrong, you need to hold people accountable.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
The author's goal here is that every middle school and high school student in the state of Indiana, along with their families, have the Empower booklet at their access. He encourages school districts, the Indianapolis Housing Agency, the BMV, and faith community to purchase and distribute Empower to youth and families. To reach out to him or to purchase a book, we will put his email on our website at WRTV.com.